welcome back to this week's edition of the Rock and Roll Ghost podcast. This week we have legendary musician George Porter Jr. You might know him from the Meters, the Funky Meters, Joyride, so many other places. And it looks like you're on the road there, George. Hope you're well.
I'm doing really well. Sleeping as often as I can, and and just working, staying busy. I'm out with what's supposed to have been the Runnin Pardners with a guest, Joe Moisenek, but our Chris Atkins guitarist got sick on Monday, and it's not the virus, it's not the COVID.
Oh, it's not the virus.
Okay. Yeah, it's not the virus, but it had him bent over the toilet, so it had something to do with his stomach. So we out here as the trio. So basically now it's gonna be, we're building it as the Porter Trio with guest Joe Moisenek.
Yeah, well, I got to see the trio. I was down in New Orleans last year at the Maple Leaf.
Yeah.
You guys were actually, I was down there for my birthday, and I just went to the Maple Leaf from there, and it was a really cool show.
It's a jam thing. It's a fun jam thing.
Yeah. How many, when you're in town, how many gigs do you typically do a week?
In the city, when I'm home, I'm usually just home. The Maple Leaf is usually the only gig I play in the city.
Yeah. Okay.
And unless something comes, unless there's a bigger event that comes along, but I think I've outpriced myself in the local club scene.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately.
Well, what are you gonna do? But no, it's that's one of the things I love about going down there is just being able to pick up and go see some music and enjoy the hell out of myself, because it's so different than it is up here in Chicago. We got a lot of music up here, but it's not the same feel or energy.
I hear you. You're in Chicago?
Yeah, just outside. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you got a lot of blues up there.
Yeah. That's something I regrettably I haven't got. See, this is the thing. Well, I shouldn't be knocking what we got here. We do have a lot of cool things here. So, well, how's the tour going so far? You just got off the tour with Trombone Shorty and Dumpster Funk, right?
Yes, yeah, that went very well. The first leg of that, we did 19 shows in about 20 or 28 days or 29 days, something like that.
Yeah.
And they were all kind of really short and sweet. Our whole set was 40 minutes. And so basically Dumpster would do one song, bring me on. I would do 3 songs. Then we would bring Civil Neville on, and he would do 3 songs, and our set was over.
Yeah, that's cool. No, it was a hell of a lineup. I wish I had checked it out. And then, how long are you going to be on tour for this one?
This one is just 5 days. I'll be back home on Monday evening, but too late to do the Maple Leaf Monday night.
Oh, okay.
So we'll drive in late Monday evening and Monday afternoon and go home and go to bed.
Yeah.
Have the rest of the week off, and then we start all.
Oh, that's cool. Look, hey, you've earned it. You earned it. I actually got to see I guess probably one of the last versions, or probably the last version of the Funky Meters. You guys came through Chicago to play the Hideout block party. And I can't remember what year. It was 2008, something like that. Anyways, I got to see you play live, and that was a pretty amazing experience as well.
No, it was a fun band. I enjoyed playing with the 2 versions of the band that happened. One
right
with Art originally, and myself with Brian Stokes and David Russell Baptiste on drums. And then when Russell retired, my present drummer with Runnin Pardners, Terrence Houston, became a member. That's probably the band that you saw with Terrence.
That sounds about right. Yeah. It's just a really cool, because I've been interested in New Orleans and New Orleans music since probably, I don't know. I think it might have been the Big Easy that kind of tipped me towards it. I was also into the Nevilles a little bit from before that, and then it just became like a thing. And it's such amazing music, all over the place. Funk to the sorry, my mouth is really dry. The blues, the trad jazz, the whole bit. It's
it's something. It's something for everyone. If you and then it's really great for those listeners who's willing to who's open to going and just finding something new to do, because there's always something going down there musically. Yeah. Pretty much every night of the week. There's the Maple Leaf does music 7 nights a week.
Right.
A few of the clubs on Frenchman Street play music 7 nights a week. There's and I mean, I'm not sure. I haven't been on Bourbon Street in a very long time, so I don't know what the hell's going on, what goes down here.
I think I was in the quarter for just like maybe an afternoon when I go, because at this point now I know the cooler parts are away. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the quarter. Just it's touristy. What are you gonna do? It's like Grant Park for us. I mean, there's a certain level of it, but damn it, I lost my thought. I completely blanked. I get it. There's just so much, down there to offer. That's basically what I was trying to wrap myself up from saying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I very much agree that Bourbon Street has kind of like grown to just, the clubs, the actual management of the clubs are kind of insist on the bands that play down there, play the music that you could hear in your own hometown. So it's definitely not like bringing people in, bringing artists in to play on Bourbon Street that's represent themselves, their musically. So it's a cover bands heaven over there on Bourbon Street.
Yeah. So I when I was down there last time, I went to Maple, I went to Bullets to see Kermit, and then I went to Kermit's joint the next night for some comedy thing. I don't know. There wasn't comedy, but each night was like was better than the last. It seemed. I don't know. I just have a special love for that city.
Yeah, you're right.
Have you ever considered leaving New Orleans, or is it just there's no way?
I leave New Orleans every week, but I run home.
Well, no, I meant so maybe that's it. Maybe getting the tour keeps all of it in perspective.
Yeah, right, exactly. There's too much about home that I miss when I'm away from it. And it's 80% of it is the food. And then I have a new great grand. She's I have a granddaughter. I have a great granddaughter now. She's 7 months old, and I miss my daughter when she was that age. Growing up, and I got to see a nice portion of my granddaughter growing up. But I really was looking forward to spending more time with my great granddaughter.
Well, that's pretty cool. That is. That's really cool, actually. No, and like I said, you certainly. You certainly earn any rest you have coming your way too. So, and plus just being able to get out and then coming back's got to be sweeter than anything, I suppose, coming back to New Orleans after a tour.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Well, The other thing I did want to kind of touch on, you early on sat in with Earl King, right?
I played a lot with Earl King. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Dude.
I didn't realize it was more than like a couple of times, but you played a lot with him. And what was he like?
Earl was. Well, I always tell everybody that Earl was my musical father. He kind of stepped in the days back when I was a young teenager. Then that I didn't have a father at home. Mm-hmm. And Earl was not only musically influenced, he kind of told me, the things that I should do as a young man and things I shouldn't do as a young man. Yeah. I didn't listen very well to what he was telling me.
Oh, of course.
So I did all the young man pitfalls. I made every one of the wrong stops, But Earl was. I mean, musically for me, Earl was like, he was my mentor. He was absolutely the person that musically I wanted to not necessarily be like, but I wanted to learn as much more as I can from him.
Yeah, that's
great. I did. Well, the Meters recorded the Street Parade album with him, which was like unbelievable. And when the Meters had kind of separated for a while, I had went to our then management, Marshall Seahorn, and told him that I would like to cut a solo record on, my own, and he got Earl to come in and write songs for my solo record. And
that's awesome.
So two of the songs that Earl brought to my table, he was like, we knew I was going to do 4 songs, so Earl brought 2 songs to it. One was called "Don't Make Me Act Ignorant," and the other one was what was it? Oh wow, can you think of the name of it? I re-recorded it with him on Blacktop Records when he did one of the last 2 or 3 records he did for Blacktop Records. Okay. I can't remember what. "Don't Make Me Act Ignorant" was. But there's a great story behind "Don't Make Me Act Ignorant." There was an artist in New Orleans, artist named Willie T, and he recorded "Teasing You." Earl wrote "Teasing You" for Willie. It was a big record for Willie at home, and so the second record was called "Sucker John," which basically is almost teasing you with a twist, just a different set of words. There was the third record that was going to be was released, was going to be "Don't Make Me Act Ignorant," but Willie decided at that point he didn't want to be an R&B artist. He wanted to go back to playing jazz. So he went back to playing jazz, and "Don't Make Me Act Ignorant" stayed on the side for 25 years.
Yeah. That's cool. No, that's an amazing relationship to have had. To have your mentor basically come back and help you out, which is pretty amazing. But you've been a part of so many. There's the laundry list. The Sneak and Sally Through the Alley, Lady Marmalade, Southern Nights, that kind of thing. But you've also worked with a lot of interesting artists. You got to work with Solomon Burke at some point, and
yes,
he knows he's a legend. What was that experience like?
I sit back and try to think about that. I don't remember remember much about that session. I believe we did that through the Blacktop record label, and I kind of remember a little, as much as I could, about that session, is that Solomon wasn't very happy with what was going on. So I think we recorded a great deal. I don't know if we did the whole record, but I was told that Solomon took the tracks and went back to California and replaced everybody with his people. So I don't know exactly. I don't know what exactly happened. And I never ever heard the actual record that we did with him.
So that's gotta be one of your more interesting stories, because that's fun.
It happens like that, but the check didn't bounce and I cashed it immediately.
There you go. Yeah. That's fun. That's something I didn't know. That's the thing. I don't know somebody like Earl King. I mean, I know like some of the stuff about, but I don't know who the person was. So it's great to be able to, talk to somebody that knew that person well. And like some Solomon Burke. I mean, I know the music. Actually, he was a part in the Big Easy as well. He played. I forget what he played. He some sort of drug dealer, but there's not a ton sometimes with some people out there to get a sense of who they were.
Right.
Well, you're touring with the Running Pardners in a different configuration, of course. The last album was 2020.
The last album?
Yeah.
No. The most recent record is "Crying for Hope," and I think it came out last year,
2021. I thought
Yeah.
I thought I read 20, but no big deal.
I think it was in 21. Yeah. Like,
Okay.
I think it was like December.
Yeah.
We started recording in 20, and it was a unique version of, how you said, how we recorded the record, because we did it in 4 different studios.
Right.
Everybody, it was 3 of us have our own home studios.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
And then our drummer took the finished tracks, and he took those tracks into another studio where he overdubbed his drums to our existing tracks,
Mm-hmm.
and so he got to play the songs with the whole music already laid out, which is different from most of the times,
Yeah, no, that's really interesting. I have to imagine that was an odd thing to try to do to put together something kind of that's separated. Were you worried at all about it not coming together properly?
I was concerned that it was going to sound, because some records you can listen to and just hear that this was all overdubbed music and stuff. But we did this in the cloud. We did this in the cloud, and it was done in real time. So so the 3 of us, Michael and Chris and myself, we were like on our iPads while we were recording, and we talk to each other through their session, their portion of the session. So we everybody played in real time. So it was pretty good.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I was going to say that it's something that's become norm in this era, but it's such an odd idea. But you guys seem to have gotten through it pretty well.
Yeah, it worked really well. I was very pleased. In fact, I'm thinking about the Runnin Pardners record now. The Porter Trio, because we started that record like in 2019, mm-hmm. and we have got busy and got COVID came along. Then we started working on the Runnin Pardners record, so the Porter Trio record just kind of sat on the shelf,
Right.
So that record, it's like 19 songs, I believe. That's pretty much, we just need to, doctor a few parts, fix a few bass lines, correct some of my bad singing.
Yeah, that's something I don't recall when I saw your show. Do you ever sing at one of your Maple Leaf gigs?
Say that again?
I'm sorry. Your Maple Leaf shows where the Porter Trio. I don't remember hearing you sing when I went. Do you ever sing as part of the trio?
Yes, I do. We have songs that was wrote for vocals, and okay. But it's probably 60% instrumentals, instrumental stuff, and there's some vocals. Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead. We won.
I'm so sorry. You first.
Your turn.
No, don't say that. You first.
no, when we was originally starting to do the project, all of the music went in as instrumental music. It was just, the bass, piano, and bass keys and drums. And then after listening to certain tracks, some words came to my head. So I just started, researching, writing lyrics for them. So, but Michael, the keyboardist, said, "Man, Porter, don't take away all the instrumental songs. Let's leave some instrumental songs." I said, "That's not a bad idea."
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Like I said, I didn't get to hear you in particular sing that night, so I didn't.
You must have didn't stay very long.
No, I was there. I mean, maybe I didn't have anything to drink. That's the thing. So I don't know why, but I'm getting older, so that could be it. I don't remember you singing, so maybe that could just be my bad memory. Okay, we're just gonna chalk it up to that. What do you got going on in the future? You're just wrapping this tour up soon, and you're heading back. But you got anything else?
I get home. I get home on Monday. Then I have the whole week off, and I think the following Tuesday, myself and the Runnin Pardners go up to the Colorado area.
Okay.
And play 4 dates up in the Colorado area, going towards Vegas. I think the Crest of Butte is the last date with the Runnin Pardners, and then my keyboard player who is doubling as my driver on the Trombone Shorties tour. Me, him, and my guitar tech would leave from Crest of Butte and head to LA to do the second leg of the Trombone Shorty tour.
Oh, awesome! So that's still going strong.
Well, he's Shorty and them. I think they are on their way back from Europe, but he took a break in the tour to go to Europe and do a play over there for and then he comes back and finish it. There's only 5 more shows left on the U.S. tour.
Okay, well, that's still cool that that's still going. Okay, and what excites you these days musically? Do you follow much of modern music, or you say that's not my thing, and I'm just gonna stick with what I know.
No, I kind of like adventuring. So I personally still think that I have a lot more to learn about being a songwriter.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't listen to a lot of music, although I play in a lot of different configurations musically. But most of those configurations want me to play meter music. So that's pretty much outside of Runnin Pardners in the trio. I play probably 60-70% meter music with different configurations. Except for if I get to play with when I was working with Bill Kurtzman and Mickey Hart in both of those outfits, we played Grateful Dead music and music that was wrote for the Seven Walkers band, and music that was wrote for Mickey Hart's band. That Robert Hunter wrote the music for those bands.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was individual recordings that I learned to play in those 2 bands. But when I go out and play with Steve Kimmock and the Voodoo Dead band, it's trying to pretty much lean towards a lot of Kimmock's solo instrumental kind of stuff. That kind of leans towards jazz fusion, and and the Grateful Dead.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely you definitely have a multifaceted kind of spirit within you in terms of where you can go. I always think it's just amazing. When you're back home, say you're on an actual long tour, not just 5 days, and you come home, and you were talking earlier about food. What's the place you go to first?
Popeyes fried chicken.
Just Popeyes, the national chain fried chicken.
Yeah, but
Why-
we had a big discussion about that the other day on this Trombone Shorties tour.
Yeah.
We got bored with the catering and myself and Dumpster Funk people. You know, we ordered out some Popeye fried chicken in two different places, and then decided that we wasn't going to do that anymore because the chicken didn't taste like it tastes in New Orleans.
See, you know, there's that is the problem, and I love Popeyes. I can tell you that. But there's one place I used to live in the city, and there was a place like a few miles away from me, and those guys, every time I ordered from there, it was perfect. But then I go somewhere else, and somehow it's complete, you know, garbage. So I feel you about it being probably. I didn't myself try Popeyes when I was down. It seemed like kind of a dumb touristy thing to do. But if you're selling me on it, that there's something about it being better there than it is in the rest of the chains. And next time I go to the Popeyes.
Well, I have my particular store that I go to. You know, that's been pretty consistent. But also, but you know, I just don't eat Popeyes fried chicken. We have a good friend there that has a restaurant. I mean, next door to the Maple Leaf Jacobos is good
Right,
eating.
yeah.
We have a good friend that has a seafood restaurant out in Harahan called geez, I always pronounce it wrong. Slatters, I believe it's called.
I think I know. I think I've heard about that place. Yeah.
Yeah, really good, really good. And he's Jason is he's a great chef on his own. You know, on most of the time when I come there, he usually goes and prepares my meal personally. I usually get a whole fish, and he usually just do a whole fish, and I'll eat a whole fish. That is it's so killing. And then we do the Crescent City Steakhouse, which is good. You know, when I want a large slab of meat, that go to Crescent City Steakhouse. And you know, so within a month's period of time, there's a couple of Japanese, you know, sushi restaurants we go to that, you know, that we've been eating at. And for me, Five Happiness is a Chinese place. You know, I've been eating at Five Happiness for 40 years. You know?
That's cool. Yeah, because you know, so many, like, especially in New Orleans, people think of New Orleans as an old city, but people don't realize how often things change and how buildings, you know, burn down or, you know, have to be torn down. There's always new stuff. Like, you know, it might be the same name, but it moved from there to there, and now we're here or something.
Yeah.
Like that. You know, it's
every
amazing.
Every time they move, it changes.
Yeah. It seems like, you know, as old feeling as New Orleans is, it's also because of all the climate issues, and I know you're a proponent, you know, about climate change with regards to the wetlands. You know, it wreaks havoc on whatever business, you know, it happens to hit, or just as I'm seeing on, I follow a couple of New Orleans hashtags on Instagram, and they were showed a picture of a flooding just from rain, and then I guess you guys are having a lot of trouble with your sewage and water down there. Everybody seems to be upset with yeah. And it's not because of hurricanes; it's just rain. For the most,
just rain, just regular everyday hard rain can come there and flood the street. Yes, yeah. So I mean, the city is like in a massive thing right now of trying to replace the sewer lines, and so that means that, you know, 2/3 of the city is torn up. You know, it's like 1 week I can get to my house, you know, 3 different ways. You know, when I left home, I was only able to get to my house from one direction. You know, the other two directions are shut down. You know.
Yeah. No, it's you know, I always worry about you guys down there because of the climate change is just it's brutal right now for everyone. But when you add in like hurricane season and stuff like that, everything just seems to get worse as we get older.
Yeah.
But well, George, you know, I've taken up a lot of your time. I really appreciate you talking today. It was a real pleasure. I hope the rest of the tour goes well, and I hope you continue to find new inspiration as you go along.
Excellent. Thank you. And thanks for having me. And to all your listeners, you know, thumbs up.
Yeah. Go to New Orleans and check out George at the Maple Leaf. All right.
Sounds great.
You take it easy, George.
All right. You too, my friend. Take care.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.